January 3, 2026, 2:01 a.m. local time. Caracas, Venezuela. United States helicopters touched down at Maduro's compound in the capital, culminating an operation that began when about 150 aircraft disabled air defenses, darkened most of the capital, and executed what officials described as less than 30 minutes of kinetic action. By 4:29 a.m., just 2.5 hours later, Maduro was put on board a United States aircraft carrier, the USS Iwo Jima, en route to face federal charges in New York. Whether fully confirmed in every operational detail or not, the reported capture of Venezuelan President Nicolás Maduro reveals how the United States military would execute a modern regime capture mission, and why that capability alone reshapes global deterrence. Not through speculation. Through demonstrated systems integration, operational doctrine, and the kind of power projection that forces adversaries worldwide to recalculate what is possible. Let me show you the architecture behind an operation that proved reach matters more than borders. The foundation begins months before kinetic action. A CIA team had crept into the country, tracking Maduro's movements and habits, where he slept, what he ate, where he traveled. This is intelligence, surveillance, and reconnaissance, executed as human intelligence layered with technical collection. Space-based assets monitored communications. Signals intelligence triangulated electronic emissions. And ground teams, likely operating undercover as diplomatic or commercial personnel, provided the granular detail satellites cannot capture. Modern capture operations rely on visibility, not secrecy. The target must be isolated digitally before being touched physically. America's most advanced aircraft carrier, the USS Gerald R. Ford, swept into the Caribbean, part of a military buildup that Trump believed got the attention of Maduro. The Ford-class carrier isn't just power projection. It's a mobile command center with E-2D Hawkeyes providing theater-wide airspace management, F/A-18 Super Hornets, and F-35Cs establishing air superiority, and networked systems coordinating every platform from satellites to special operations forces. The carrier's presence signals intent while enabling execution. The Ford generates enough electrical power to operate advanced radar, electronic warfare systems, and command and control infrastructure simultaneously. And when Trump said the United States turned off almost all of the lights in Caracas, that capability likely came from cyber operations, electronic warfare, or kinetic strikes on power infrastructure, all coordinated through the Carrier Strike Group's command center. Air dominance preceded everything else. Venezuela operates Russian-made air defense systems, S-300 variants and shorter-range systems providing layered coverage around Caracas. The United States military appeared to overrun Venezuela's air defenses. That's not accident. That suppression of enemy air defenses doctrine executed through F-35s, penetrating integrated air defense networks, EA-18G Growlers jamming radar systems, and likely cyber operations disrupting command and control networks before missiles ever launched. F-35s operating from Puerto Rico or carrier-based F-35Cs would have mapped Venezuelan air defense locations through passive sensors, transmitted targeting data through secure data links, and coordinated strikes ensuring no gaps in coverage existed when helicopters entered Venezuelan airspace. Several deafening explosions rang out across Caracas, consistent with precision strikes eliminating radar sites, command centers, and surface-to-air missile batteries. The rotary wing insertion demonstrates Special Operations Aviation Regiment capabilities refined through decades of similar missions. The United States Army's Delta Force and the 160th Special Operations Aviation Regiment carried out the capture mission. The 160th, known as the Night Stalkers, operates MH-60 Blackhawks and MH-47 Chinooks, modified for deep penetration missions. Enhanced navigation systems, defensive electronic warfare suites, aerial refueling capability, and the ability to operate in GPS-denied environments make these platforms the delivery method for personnel capture operations. Trump said United States forces held off on conducting the operation for days, waiting for cloud cover to pass because the weather has to be perfect. Weather dictates helicopter operations more than fixed-wing aircraft. Low cloud ceilings interfere with night vision systems. High winds complicate fast rope insertions. And precision timing requires visibility conditions, enabling multiple aircraft to coordinate approaches without colliding or exposing positions prematurely. The tactical execution reveals rehearsal and preparation. Trump said that United States forces had practiced their extraction of Maduro on a replica building. They actually built a house, which was identical to the one they went into, with all the same, all that steel all over the place. Full-scale rehearsals are standard for high-risk operations. Teams practice entry procedures, room clearing sequences, and exfiltration routes until execution becomes automatic. American forces were armed with massive blowtorches, which they would have used to cut through steel walls had Maduro locked himself in the room. But physical force is the last resort. Given the precision of the snatch and grab operation, it is highly likely that the United States had the assistance of several regime insiders, either looking to cash in the $50 million reward for Maduro's capture or negotiate a cushier exile for themselves. Intelligence operations preceding kinetic action identify potential defectors, compromise security personnel, and create pathways enabling access that force alone cannot achieve. Command and control integration tied every element together. Joint all-domain command and control doctrine connects sensors and shooters across domains. Satellites detected power grid status and tracked air defense radar emissions. Carrier-based E-2D Hawkeyes coordinated airspace deconfliction, preventing friendly aircraft collisions while ensuring strike packages hit targets simultaneously. And Special Operations Ground Forces maintain secure communications through tactical data links, ensuring real-time coordination with overhead platforms. Trump gave the green light at 11:46 p.m. local time on Friday. At 2:01 a.m. on Saturday, helicopters touched down. By 4:29 a.m., Maduro was aboard the carrier, 4.5 hours from execution order to custody. That timeline demonstrates pre-positioned assets, rehearsed procedures, and integration eliminating delays between decision and action. The naval component provided the critical exfiltration capability. The USS Iwo Jima, a Wasp-class amphibious assault ship, operated as the floating detention facility and transfer point. These vessels carry Marine Expeditionary Units, operate helicopters and tiltrotor aircraft, and provide secure spaces for detaining high-value individuals. The ship's position in international waters meant Maduro was in United States custody the moment he boarded, without requiring overflight of third-party nations that might complicate legal proceedings. Capture operations are harder than strikes. Killing targets requires precision and speed. Capturing targets alive requires precision, speed, and control of every variable between insertion and exfiltration. The target cannot be injured beyond transport capability. Security forces must be neutralized without creating casualties that complicate legal proceedings. And extraction must occur before reinforcements arrive, or political considerations force mission abort. Russia's military struggles with precision strike coordination evident in Ukraine. China has never conducted a non-permissive personnel recovery or capture operation beyond its immediate borders. Neither nation operates forward-deployed carrier strike groups providing persistent power projection. And neither maintains the global ISR architecture enabling months of pre-operational surveillance culminating in sub-hour decision cycles. The strategic implication isn't hypothetical anymore. The mere plausibility of operations like this forces behavioral change in adversaries. Leaders operating under indictment must consider whether fortress compounds protect them or simply delay inevitable capture. Nations hosting indicted individuals must weigh whether providing sanctuary invites operations they cannot prevent. And military forces worldwide must acknowledge that United States power projection reaches targets previously considered untouchable. This operation fits doctrinal evolution emphasizing strategic impatience. Months of escalation preceded kinetic action. The United States conducted its 21st strike on an alleged drug smuggling boat in the Eastern Pacific in the weeks before the capture. Each strike signaled willingness to use force while gathering intelligence on Venezuelan response patterns, air defense capabilities, and political resolve. Modern United States power projection doesn't rely on surprise. It relies on overwhelming capability, making resistance futile. Venezuela knew a carrier strike group operated offshore. They knew strikes were hitting maritime targets. They knew threats were escalating. And that knowledge didn't matter, because they lacked capabilities countering integrated air-sea cyber operations, conducted by forces operating across domains simultaneously. Capability determines outcomes before the first shot. Future conflicts won't be decided by who strikes first, but by who can isolate, penetrate, execute, and extract against defended targets, while managing escalation across multiple domains simultaneously. And this operation demonstrated that the United States military possesses those capabilities operationally, not theoretically. The operation revealed power projection doctrine refined through decades: isolate the target through intelligence, achieve air superiority through integrated strikes, insert forces with specialized platforms, execute with rehearsed precision, and extract through pre-positioned naval assets. Every phase dependent on the previous phase. Every capability networked with complementary systems. and every decision compressed into timelines adversaries cannot match. Reach matters more than borders. That's the lesson adversaries worldwide absorbed starting January 3, 2026. Not through hypothetical scenarios or doctrine documents, through demonstrated capability proving the United States military can reach anyone, anywhere, when national leadership decides the operation serves strategic interests. And proving that capability changes behavior even without using it, because now everyone knows what's possible.